All biscuits should be vegan, and that's why these are. So here's what you're gonna need for this recipe. Feel free to pause the video if you wanna type up a shopping list real quick. Alternately, you can copy and paste from the description. First things first, preheat your oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. As you saw a moment ago, you're gonna need vegan buttermilk, which for some reason nobody sells, but luckily it's pretty easy to make. This recipe calls for a cup of buttermilk, so I'm gonna grab a 1 cup measuring cup, then I'm gonna add my souring agent. In my case, that's gonna be about 7 grams of lactic acid and just a little bit of salt. But if you want to use white vinegar or apple cider vinegar, you can just use a tablespoon of that. Both make excellent biscuits. I'm using the lactic acid because that's what I like best. Try all 3. They're really all very, very good. Once that's measured, I'll fill up the rest of the measuring cup with soy milk and transfer the ingredients to a sealable container and mix, then seal that container and put that in the fridge. While we're at it, let's measure our butter-flavored shortening, yes, it's vegan, and put that in the fridge as well. Why put them in the fridge? Because for this recipe, our fats and our fluids need to be kept cold. If they get warm, they'll start to liquefy and the dough is gonna lose its shape before we cook our biscuits. By working quickly, we keep everything cold and we give the dough its ideal environment to keep that round biscuit shape. So with that goal in mind, we're going to measure our Miyoko's vegan butter and move that to the freezer, because later we're going to be grating it into the dough, and that's easier to do when it's a little more solid. Now, moving on to our dry ingredients, let's pause and remember what renowned Epicurean Josh Hoberman taught us.
Any baker worth their gluten knows a biscuit is only as good as its flour.
For that reason, I feel obligated to let you know this recipe works best with White Lily's self-rising flour. We're not sponsored by them, their flour just makes a good biscuit. So we measure, then mix our flour, baking soda, baking powder, and salt in a medium mixing bowl. Then sift those ingredients into a large mixing bowl. Okay, so we're getting to the part where we need to work quickly because I'm about to add the fats. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my pan ready. Next, we add the butter-flavored shortening and cut it into the dough with the pastry cutter. Then we add the buttermilk. Now we use a cheese grater and grate in the butter. After that, we prepare a work surface by sifting a little flour onto it. Then we dump our gooey mixture onto the surface and begin folding. Flour up your hands and go to work. This is where the biscuit dough really becomes that layered, delicious crunch ball we all love to sit at the drive-thru waiting for. Feel free to add a little flour if the dough gets too gooey, but don't overdo it. Learning to manage the ratios in your dough can be more art than science at times, and don't be discouraged if your first batch isn't perfect. The more you make these, the better they'll get. With your dough all folded, it's time to cut the biscuits. You can take a pastry cutter. I use the 2.5 or the 3-inch out of this set you're seeing on screen right now. Whenever you do this, go straight in and straight out. Any other approach will prevent your biscuits from rising. Fold this up again so I can get a few more biscuits out of there. So once you've got the biscuits, arrange them on a pan with 1 or 2 inches between them and put them into the oven for 14 minutes. If you, like me, enjoy a crispy top on the biscuits, you can turn on the broiler and let them crisp for a couple minutes after the initial 14. Pull them out of the oven and there you go. Vegan biscuits, ready to eat. End credits. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks to our patrons for making it possible. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up so YouTube will show it to other people. And if you made the recipe and you liked it, let me know in the comments. If you know a baker who would love a vegan method for making biscuits, definitely share this with them. Vegify releases a new video every month, so if you enjoyed this one, be sure to check out these others and subscribe if you'd like to be notified of future videos. And don't forget to click the bell if you want those notifications. And lastly, if you'd like to help me make more videos in the future, you can do so at patreon.com/Vegify. Okay, thanks everybody, bye.